Time to save the universe again then, is it?
Absolutely.
There's no better icon of girl power than the tough girl character type. Anything a man can do, she can do just as well, or better.
I'd ask who you are, but you'll be dead in a second.
I'm Domino. And doubtful.
We can trace her roots all the way back to Greek mythology, whose all-female warriors, the Amazons, Athena, the goddess of war and wisdom, and Artemis, the goddess of the hunt, personified female strength. This type rose to popularity in the 70s.
Somebody has to save our skins!
And in modern times, iconic on-screen tough girls like Trinity, Ripley, or Furiosa have made this trope a staple of the action and superhero movie genres. But why do movies and TV rush to equate female strength with being able to beat everyone up? And why is the tough girl often kind of boring? If we look closer at the tough girl on screen, we can break down the characteristics that define her. She has extreme physical strength. Often superbly capable with amazing fighting skills, the tough girl disproves the stereotype that women are fragile or weak.
Need a hand?
No thanks. I'm good.
Her decisions are guided by logic, not emotion.
We take our chances and just hope that somebody picks us up.
The shuttle won't take 4.
Since many of these characteristics are traditionally associated with men, the tough girl can come across as a simple, formulaic creation, male physical power plus male rational temperament, packaged in a female athletic body equals strong female character.
I just thought, you were a guy.
Most guys do.
But the tough girl only becomes interesting when there's more to her personality and her story. A compelling tough girl might be so hardened because she's experienced great pain or trauma. Or she may be tough out of necessity because she's a professional in a man's world.
I want to follow some semblance of procedure.
Or trying to survive in a brutal, cutthroat environment.
Out here, everything hurts. You want to get through this? Do as I say.
It helps if she has other women in her story to define herself against. And she's most captivating when she's got her fair share of flaws.
Jesus, shit.
Which combine with her superpowers to form the complex psychology of a real person.
Is there whiskey in this? Oh yeah, that's mine.
Here's our take on what the tough girl represents in our culture, and why it's essential for any good character to be more than strong.
Here we go, girls!
This video is brought to you by Brilliant, a problem-solving website that makes math and science part of a fun and interactive learning experience. Brilliant offers courses on astronomy, programming, everyday physics, and so much more. Click the link in the description below, brilliant.org/thetake, to sign up for a free account now. The first 200 people that go to the link will get 20% off an annual premium subscription. There are two fundamental types of tough girls on screen. Let's start with type 1, the only tough girl. This character's whole personality is that she's tough. She's frequently not the protagonist of the story. She's more likely there to support a man and service his development. The only tough girl exemplifies what writer Tasha Robinson termed Trinity Syndrome. Referring to Carrie-Anne Moss's character in The Matrix, Robinson writes of the hugely capable woman who never once becomes as independent, significant, and exciting as she is in her introductory scene.
That's impossible.
The movie never considers that Trinity might be the one herself. Her role is to fall in love with this person and facilitate his transformation into a hero.
Now get up.
So while the only tough girl arrives with a bang, and the movie announces she's superficially edgy, awesome, and of course strong, she isn't allowed to contribute meaningfully to the plot. She's more or less the token woman. The tough girl is set up as the polar opposite of the damsel in distress.
Come with me if you want to not die.
Yet these two inverse character types tend to be strangely similar in their limitations. Both are accessories in a male story.
My name is Pussy Galore.
I must be dreaming.
One positive example of the tough girl, Sarah Connor in the Terminator franchise, takes on true complexity because she illuminates this relationship between the damsel and tough girl types. She begins as a helpless damsel in the first movie.
I mean, am I tough? Organized? I can't even balance my checkbook.
But transforms into a fierce fighter by the 1991 sequel, an evolution made possible by actress Linda Hamilton's intensive physical training.
I come from the physical fitness world where you reshape and resculpt your body, but that what I saw there was extraordinary.
The only tough girl is often the lone featured woman in her cast.
I'm always picking up after you boys.
Sophia McDougall argues that often an interesting male character has a huge range of other characters of his own gender around him, so that he never has to act as any kind of ambassador or representative for maleness. But if the tough girl is the only woman with significant screen time in her story, she takes on the burden of epitomizing all women. Thus, she can't really show weakness in any way, or this could be interpreted as a statement that women are weak. The end result is a character who's forced to be perfect, and therefore boring. 2015's Mad Max Fury Road corrects the lone female problem by showing effectively 3 generations of tough girls.
You kill people with that, do ya?
Killed everyone I ever met out here. Headshots, all of them, snap right in the medulla.
And Charlize Theron's Furiosa takes on emotional power in her mission because she's helping other women. Fury Road assiduously corrects the other traps of the only tough girl as well. Furiosa and male lead Max aren't a couple, but a great team, each taking a turn rescuing the other. Nor does he overshadow her inability. At one point, after Max repeatedly fails to shoot the approaching enemy, he even hands the gun to Furiosa knowing she can do it. Thanks to its conscious attempts to avoid common tough girl pitfalls, this installment of the classically macho Mad Max franchise was hailed as a feminist action film by Eve Ensler, author of The Vagina Monologues, and a consultant on the movie.
You can get in.
Not without them.
So what turns an only tough girl into a strong woman who's genuinely empowering and inspiring to female viewers? This brings us to Type 2, the Tough Girl Plus. In addition to her strength, she has other qualities that make her interesting, like a sharp, logical mind, morbid determination, or wit and playfulness.
If the apocalypse comes, beat me.
Often this kind of tough girl is the main character, or one of them, and she's not the only woman, so she doesn't have to stand in for femaleness in general. One of the all-time best examples of the Tough Girl Plus is Ripley in the Alien franchise.
I can handle myself.
Yeah, I noticed.
Ironically, a big reason this part was so good and appealing to star Sigourney Weaver is that it wasn't written for a woman. Screenwriter Dan O'Bannon and co-writer Ronald Shusett wrote all characters as generic males, referring to them only by last name.
Kane, Lambert, Parker, Brett, Ash.
Then marked them as unisex in the working script.
It was written in a very straightforward way. This was a kind of direct person who didn't have these scenes where she was suddenly vulnerable and she didn't, throw her hands up and wait for someone else to save her. She was a thinking, moving, deciding creature.
This story underlines that to write a riveting tough girl, you merely have to approach her like you would a male character, which is to say, conceive of her as a complex individual with agency. Ridley Scott's direction in Alien also treats Ripley no differently from the males. Nothing in her costume, makeup, or camera framing is visually reminding us that she's a woman. Her face is frequently lit half in shadow, a stereotypically male lighting technique that emphasizes her serious dilemma, rather than bathing her in an even, soft, flattering glow to emphasize her beauty. As a person, Ripley displays both stereotypically male and female qualities. She's traditionally masculine in that she's logical and cool-headed in a crisis.
Open the hatch.
Wait a minute. If we let it in, the ship could be infected. You know the quarantine procedure.
24 hours for decontamination.
Meanwhile, men she works with are histrionic and impulsive, overcome by emotions.
Oh, no, that's a bunch of horse shit. We can take off without that.
Yeah, we can. You think that's a good idea?
Look, I just want to get the hell out of here, all right?
Like a stereotypical female, Ripley also displays a nurturing side, but her caring nature isn't presented as a womanly characteristic, simply a human one. As a result, what stands out about her is not her gender, but her humanity. Buffy the Vampire Slayer also imagined a world where a woman was put in the type of singular heroic role usually given to a man.
One girl in all the world, a chosen one born with the
Strength and skill to hunt the vampires.
Buffy was fiercely loyal and appealingly quippy.
We thought you were a myth.
Well, Your myth taken.
And her life was interesting because she had to balance her Slayer duties with being a normal teenage girl.
I was afraid that I was going to be behind in all my classes, that I wouldn't make any friends, that I would have last month's hair. I didn't think there'd be vampires on campus.
So the tough girl plus type proves that only in combination with her other human qualities does a woman's toughness become genuine and gripping to watch. An important subcategory of the tough girl is the tough girl professional. She works in a high-stakes, male-dominated field like law enforcement and regularly confronts intense pressure without cracking.
She's been leading our kidnap response team for 3 years. Put her through the grinder since she got here and she hasn't blinked. She's in the front line.
She likely also faces some bullying or exclusion from her mostly male colleagues.
You do a few butt-shaping exercises, you tighten this up, you can pull this off.
You know what? Pull this off.
In this context, toughness is a job requirement. The tough girl professional needs to act like a man in order to be taken seriously.
You don't think she's a little young for the hard stuff?
Washington says she's a killer.
But over time, keeping up this hard front can have adverse side effects. This career woman often has few close relationships.
Yeah, it's been a while since someone's seen me in a bra.
In Zero Dark 30, CIA agent Maya ends the movie by herself on a huge plane, unable to answer a simple question: where home is.
Where do you want to go?
A related subtype is the tough girl born of pain. Extreme suffering, usually in her backstory, is the key to unlocking this woman's strength.
When Thanos took my home world, he killed my parents in front of me. He tortured me, turned me into a weapon.
In fact, one of the definitions of tough is able to endure hardship or pain. The best example of the tough girl born of pain may be Uma Thurman's bride in Kill Bill, who goes on a ruthless quest for revenge after she's brutally attacked on her wedding day.
It's mercy, compassion, and forgiveness I lack, not rationality.
The seemingly fearless Furiosa also survived a formative trauma.
I was taken as a child, stolen.
And Lisbeth's backbone in The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is likewise a response to the misogynistic violence she's endured. The story comments on how her fortitude comes at a cost, as for all her badass qualities, this emotionally scarred person lives a lonely life.
She's had a rough life. Can we please not make it any rougher?
These examples remind us that, whether she's shaped by a hostile work environment or a terrible trauma, too often a woman must be tough because she's oppressed by a man's world.
You know, we get a lot of detectives here, but I must say I can't ever remember one as attractive.
So while the tough girl's defining quality is admirable, it's also a depressing symptom of a cruel, messed up society. It's not something we want to hold up as an ideal for young women, because why should any girl have to be so tough?
You don't have to be strong all the time, Cena. Sometimes it's good for the soul to be soft.
The tough girl's power is measured by a male metric. Through this lens, toughness essentially comes down to physical strength and repressing emotion. But the best tough girls excel because they hold on to their feminine qualities.
Just wanted to save my sister.
Sure, 1998's Mulan is decidedly not a girly girl, yet she outshines the other soldiers thanks to feminine values like her profound love for her family and her creative way of thinking.
It looks like you're out of ideas.
Not quite.
At the end of Sicario, Kate can't bring herself to pull the trigger on her immoral colleague. While this could come across as weakness, her enduring sense of decency and morality is a good thing. Unlike everyone around her, she hasn't been corrupted.
You're not a wolf. And this is the land of wolves now.
Mad Max's Furiosa and Star Wars' Leia both represent the arguably feminine value of hope.
When I served under Leia, she would say, hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it when you can see it.
You'll never make it through the night.
Their convictions may appear illogical and unrealistic in their dark, pessimistic, male-dominated worlds.
You know, hope is a mistake.
But in the end, that hope is earned, and they usher in better, peaceful eras for their societies. So it turns out that having a softer side is crucial to winning audiences over. It's also important for our female role models to glorify stereotypically feminine strengths instead of swearing them off. William Moulton Marston, the creator of Wonder Woman, argued in 1943, not even girls want to be girls so long as our feminine archetype lacks force, strength, and power. Not wanting to be girls, they don't want to be tender, submissive, peace-loving as good women are. Women's strong qualities have become despised because of their weakness. The obvious remedy is to create a feminine character with all the strength of Superman, plus all the allure of a good and beautiful woman.
Only love can truly save the world.
Perhaps the real question we need to ask is what toughness looks like according to a female metric.
You don't know what it's like to really create something, to create a life. Feel it growing inside you. All you know how to create is death and destruction.
Mom! We don't live in a primeval age where brute strength determines who leads, so there's no reason that aggression should be held up as an asset to emulate. A stereotypically male zest for violence or power only leads to a broken world.
We're not to blame! Then who killed the world?
But expressing your emotions openly, being sensitive to others, using what power you have to help the less powerful,
I'm willing to fight for those who cannot fight for themselves.
These are qualities that have the potential to heal it. Female characters who embody pure strength risk becoming unrealistically perfect Mary Sues, and many viewers just can't relate to someone who has no major flaws or weaknesses. Consider how few of our culture's most fascinating male protagonists would be summed up primarily as strong. McDougall argues that if strong male character compatibility was the primary criterion of writing heroes, our fiction would be a lot poorer. But it's within this claustrophobic little box that we expect our heroines to live out their lives. While it's a great message that Captain Marvel, the MCU's first woman to get her own movie, has been labeled the franchise's most powerful character, she's defined by her unprecedented strength.
She's one of the most powerful characters in the comics and will be the most powerful character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
So her writer's next challenge will be making sure she's more than just that, and developing her into as much of a layered individual as beloved male heroes like Tony Stark.
Big man in a suit of armor. Take that off, what are you?
Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
In recent years, interest has grown in flawed female characters who may be a response to the male anti-heroes that have long dominated prestige TV. These women have real problems, because why should the guys get to have all the fun?
What is wrong with her?
No, don't tell him.
So when we think about the strong female character, maybe we should start focusing not on whether she can win fights, but on whether her writing is strong, whether it feels true to a real, multifaceted person. Movies like Terminator and Die Hard are unquestionably designed with a male audience in mind. But in many cases, the stereotypical tough girl doesn't feel like she's really for women.
Always a pleasure.
Now for a cold shower.
When she's treated as eye candy, or is only there to support the male protagonist, this isn't how most female viewers want to see themselves. If we broaden our understanding of what a tough girl looks like, we can find many more unexpected examples who aren't ass-kicking spies, but who do exhibit awe-inspiring, real female strength. While their power might go overlooked because of their femininity, make no mistake, they're as resilient as any macho male hero. The real question isn't what strong women look like, it's whether the world can handle the sheer force of their combined might.
I've been fighting with one arm tied behind my back. But what happens when I'm finally set free?
So, are you ready?
This is Ripley, last survivor of the Nostromo. Signing off.
This video is brought to you by Brilliant. One of our goals here at The Take is to inspire our viewers to think critically about the movies and shows they watch. We love Brilliant because they share that mission of helping you to hone your analytical skills. Their online puzzles, problems, and courses will stimulate your mind and help you become a math and science whiz. Take their Mathematical Fundamentals course to give your brain a workout with Sudoku-like puzzles, test your ability to discern repetition and visual patterns, and even develop your strategic thinking. All you have to do is click the link in the description below, brilliant.org/thetake, to sign up for free. And if you're one of the first 200 people to click the link, you'll get 20% off an annual premium subscription.